Biden is also hosting a press conference this week on nutrition and health, the first by the White House since 1969. So this conference will also highlight the need for access to better food, healthier food, and exercise. Over the years, cuts to federal programs, coupled with stigmas over welfare and big changes to how food was made, has also caused a decline in access to food. According to the FDA, around 10% of households in the United States have suffered from food insecurity, meaning they were certain they could not get enough food to feed themselves or their family because they lacked money. And under the White House plan, SNAP program eligibility will be expanded. Children will get better access to free meals, and summer benefits will be extended to more school children.
This is the gentleman from Connecticut. Seek recognition.
To rise and extend my remarks and to compliment you, Madam Speaker Bourdeaux, on your service to this great nation of ours. I have very much enjoyed the privilege and honor of serving with you. I also wanted to rise and thank the clerk's office for all the work that you do day in and day out. Pardon?
Is the gentleman seeking to address the House for 1 minute?
Yes, I am. I seek to
objection, the gentleman is
revise and
recognized
extend
for
my
1 minute.
remarks and repeat again, Madam Speaker, how much I have enjoyed working with Speaker Bourdeaux and for her service to her country.
I know many Americans have been anxiously waiting for Congress to approve new pieces of legislation that will boost the monthly benefit payments. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans ages 65 and older currently receive the Social Security benefits, and the program represents an important source of income for the vast majority of those beneficiaries. So for that reason, many seniors on Social Security are awaiting 2 important pieces of information. The first is the COLA for 2023, and the second is the Medicare Part B premium for 2023. The Social Security Administration implements a COLA each year to protect the buying power of benefits from inflation, but the Social Security Administration system is not perfect, and for instance, it enacted a 5.9% COLA in 2022, but inflation has topped 5.9% every month since that decision was made, meaning seniors effectively took a pay cut this year. On the bright side, the Senior Citizens League estimates that seniors will receive an estimated 8.7% of COLA in 2023. That's the largest COLA in the last 40 years. In that scenario, the average retired worker will receive an extra $145 a month. However, the official COLA cannot be calculated until December, and so inflation data is not available yet. The average monthly Social Security benefits for retirees was recently around $1,600, or about $20,000 per year, and that average is around $1,700, and so this is plenty of money for people to collect for fuel and pay their bills. But a new proposal would also change the way the benefits are calculated and potentially putting more money into the pockets of beneficiaries. Democratic Representative John Larson has introduced a legislation called Social Security 2011. Its new bill, everybody, would also, among other things, would discontinue the use of the CPIW to determine your Social Security benefits. Instead, the bill would also change the calculations based on the Consumer Price Index for elderly, which places greater emphasis on the cost for food, housing, medical and apparel and medical care. The bill would also provide a benefit bump for current and new Social Security beneficiaries, including those who are receiving retirement, disability, or dependent benefits, equal to the average of 2% of the benefits to make up what Representative Larson described as inadequate COLA since '83. It would also set a minimum benefit of 25% above the poverty line, which would be tied to wage levels as benchmark. Eliminate the 5-month waiting period to receive payments, and provide caregiver workers for those who take time off the workforce to care for children or the dependents. And according to experts, most seniors are eligible for free Medicare Part B and Part A, provided they have worked and paid Medicare taxes for at least 10 years.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for the honor and from my colleague from Texas for hosting this very important hour. I think what you have captured here in calling our nation's debt a curse is very important, very apropos. When you do the math with the $31 trillion worth of debt, that equates to roughly $94,000 for every man, woman, and child in the United States. So as a head of household of 4 and the father of 2 young boys, 15 and 6 years old, I echo your sentiment that we cannot put this curse on our children, our
So as more checks are being sent out right now to low-income households, new fourth stimulus payments have also been approved to address the hardships that many people are facing and have been facing over the past years. So wave 1 of the fourth stimulus checks are going to be direct deposited and mailed out to eligible residents, and also there is more stimulus money going out. Maine residents, for example, could be eligible to get $850 checks to address the crisis and inflation-induced economic woes. A necessary estimated 850,000 residents will be able to collect their relief checks too, which are funded by a little half over the state's budget surplus. So eligible individuals have until probably the end of October to fill out the necessary paperwork to claim their payments. And according to the news centers, the state governor has said in support of the bill, what this budget shows once again is that through hard work and good faith negotiations, Democrats, Republicans, and independents can come together and get something done for the Maine people. And that is what we want to do without bitter bipartisanship that has sometimes divided the states. So in order to qualify for this fiscal relief, the Maine residents must be a full-year resident, living there for the whole year. So according to the governor's office, individuals must have also an annual income that is under $100,000. So filing individually or under $200,000, if filing jointly, it must not be filed as a dependent. Mills signed a bill green-lighting the checks back in April. She proposed the relief checks to alleviate the fiscal strain that's brought onto residents of Maine and managed to wrangle the measure through the state legislature. The stimulus is projected to cost a total of around $730 million. It's also important to remember that checks will be rolled out to residents using the address on the 2021 Maine income tax return. New Englanders have until the end of the year and the warning months. If New Englanders want to stay warm in their home this coming winter, it's probably going to be expensive. So, Joe Biden did something about this. Joe Biden warned the oil and gas companies to not increase the gas prices for consumers. So, during a press conference today, Joe Biden said, "Don't let me repeat this, do not use this as an excuse to raise gas prices or gouge the American people." So there are a few signs that gas prices have actually jumped significantly as the hurricane passed. As the day 99 rose, falling prices have actually nationally ended recently, and the 14-week decline was the longest streak since 2015. The nationwide average price has also risen by about $5 a gallon and $6 in California. In June, as the economic recovery and an increase in travel boosted demand for gas and caused a spike in oil prices. Gas prices have actually mostly reflect trends in global prices and crude oil prices. Both the US benchmark and international benchmark have been slumping since mid-June on growing fears of a global recession that will reduce demand for energy. Many energy analysts believe that prices are more likely to rise than fall in the next 2 months, but changes in sentiment about the economy and even hurricane season make predictions uncertain. Biden's approval rating dropped 5 points in the past week. A new poll found that 41% of respondents approved of Biden's job performance. That's down from 50% last week. The results are a reversal of recent weeks, during which Biden's approval rating has been significantly following a series of legislative successes, and Biden last month signed bipartisan legislation to increase investment in semiconductor chips.